which was registered as a national body in the year 2019. We had organized our first national seminar in the year 2019 in the month of December, and due to the COVID pandemic, we could not proceed. But today we are arranging this webinar on the very important topic, that is rooftop solar energy. And our president is Dr. Prabhakar Swami, who is a very, very renowned person in the area of literature as well as engineering and technology. He is a graduate of 1975 batch of electrical engineering from the then Regional Engineering College, Raurkela. He had shown his skill in literature when he was a student himself in college career and also engineering college career. So I have no words to describe about his details, but because he is a very, very popular figure in the state in two aspects. One is the engineering skill and also in the field of literature. Now I request our revered President Dr. Prabhakar Swami to extend the welcome address to the delegates.
Good afternoon to everybody. I welcome Dr. S.K. Mohapatra, Chief Guest and Inaugurator of this webinar, the esteemed speakers, Engineer Ramesh Chandra Sahu, Engineer A.K. Chaudhary, Dr. Ram Prasad Ponda, Secretary General of Indian Energy Congress, Professor P.K. Paddy, Secretary Engineer S.K. Sahu, Joint Secretary Professor S.K. Sethi, and all the participants to this webinar on rooftop solar energy organized by Indian Energy Congress. The sun has been worshipped as a life giver to our planet since ancient times. The industrial age gave us this understanding of sunlight as an energy source. As you all know, India, as a responsible country, is a signatory to the Paris Climate Agreement. As part of its commitment, India has to achieve 40% installed power capacity from non-fossil fuel based energy resources by 2030. At the end of year 2020, India's installed capacity from non-fossil based energy resources was 93 gigawatt, amounting to nearly 25% of total installed capacity. So we have to increase the pace, and India is blessed with vast solar energy potential. National Institute of Solar Energy has assessed the country's solar potential of about 750 gigawatt. The government is looking at harnessing this potential to meet the targets set as per the Paris Climate Agreement and earmark solar rooftop system to contribute nearly 25% of the overall solar energy capacity. Solar rooftop power generation system can be installed for residential houses, office buildings, factory buildings, car park roofs, etc. It has a lot of distinct advantages, such as, needless to say, it reduces the carbon footprint for the family or organizing using it. One of the biggest advantages is that they can be installed in any type of roof. So people do not need to vacate land or invest in buying additional land to set up rooftop solar panels. Cost savings. The cost for rooftop solar energy in comparison to commercial tariff rates is cheaper by nearly 25%. Avoid expense fluctuations. Electric tariffs keep on fluctuating from time to time, so it is difficult to calculate the expenditure on electricity for a certain period of time. However, with the installation of solar rooftops, such fluctuations can be avoided. They have low maintenance cost with a service life of over 20 years. Additionally, in order to high solar system, government provides financial assistance up to maximum 30% of the cost for rooftop solar system. I hope this webinar will help in bringing new dimensions and meaningful progress in popularizing rooftop solar system in our country. With this, I request Professor P.K. Padi, Secretary General of Indian Energy Congress, to take this webinar forward. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir, for your welcome address and also the introductory address. I will very briefly present about the theme topic and also then introduce about our revered chief guest and also the invited speakers. Solar energy is a very, very important topic, not only in our country, but throughout the world now, because it is a renewable energy. And our non-renewable energy sources are gradually becoming scarce in the country. So there may be a time where we have to find alternative, otherwise existence in the world will be impossible. So as shared by our revered president, in present times, the world has been adopting renewable power at a rapid rate. India is emerging in the global arena as a leading generator of renewable energy. In its efforts to move further towards sustainable development, the government has set a target to achieve 175 gigawatt of installed capacity of renewable energy by the end of 2022. Out of this, 100 gigawatt is the target set for solar installations. Till date, 23 gigawatt of this target has already been achieved and 40 gigawatt is under different stages of implementation. This inclination towards solar energy has allowed India to overpower the US and become the second largest country in terms of solar power generation in the world, which is a very important milestone. Though large-scale installations amount for 87% of solar power generation, today the adoption rate of solar rooftop panel is accelerating. The installed capacity of solar rooftop augmented from 117 megawatts to 1,250 megawatts from the period between 2013 to 2016. Taking this immense growth into consideration, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, through its National Solar Mission of India, has set a target of 40 gigawatt power through a rooftop solar by the end of 2022, as I told you. Though this target may seem ambitious, it is still achievable. We can be hopeful to get this target. There are several reasons that further accentuate the benefits of installing solar rooftop panels in the buildings. Our invited speakers, particularly Engineer Ashok Chaudhary, will present the government initiatives for promotion of solar energy in our state. But before I formally invite our revered chief guest, Dr. Sukant Mohapatra, to inaugurate the program, I am privileged to have a very brief introduction about our chief guest, Dr. Sukant Mohapatra. Dr. S.K. Mohapatra is a very, very popular figure in our state. He is a graduate of Regional Engineering College, Rourkela, in Mechanical Engineering in the year 1981. Later on, he had his MS degree in Computer Science from University of Louisiana, USA, and also he successfully completed his PhD degree in Computer Science from Institute of Technology, New Jersey. He is the founder chairman of the Trust and NIST governing body since its inception in 1995. Dr. Mohapatra has over 30 years of professional experience with leadership positions in applied research, system architecture, technology strategy, and business developments in telecommunications industry. He has worked in leadership positions at AT&T Sukant Technology, Bell Laboratories, and also Ericsson as Chief Technology Officer. His work area and research interests include next generation networks, 5G communication, multi-service network management, network planning and optimization, network virtualization, cloud computing, multi-access edge, computing, Internet of Things, and computer vision. He has published extensively in the area of data networking, network management, optimization, congestion, control network, etc. in various referred journals and conferences. He has taught graduate programs at Rutgers University, New Jersey, USA. He is recipient of multiple awards of recognition for his seminar contribution in research technology and leadership, including prestigious DMTS Award at Bell Laboratories, Strathmore Wall's Who's Who, Distinguished Alumni Award from NIT Rourkela, and also Distinguished Odia Award by Odisha Society of Americans, USA. He has been invited. He has joined as an invited speaker at various conferences and forums around the globe. He is also a senior member of IEEE organization. Dr. Sukant Kumar Mohapatra is the advisor of our organization, Indian Energy Congress. We are very much privileged to get him today because when we are having the evening here, he is in the morning at his own place. But he has been kind enough to agree to our invitation, and I request him now to extend his inaugural address and also inaugurate the program officially. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, respected President Dr. Swani of Indian Energy Congress, and respected office bearers of IEC, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good day, good evening to everyone. You may be in different time zone depending upon where you are. Here it's at US 7:30 morning of a wonderful summer day, and it's truly an honor and privilege for me to be with you today in the inauguration of national webinar, Rooftop Solar Energy. Take this opportunity of opening or inaugurating this seminar. It's a very apt and very interesting and applicable topic today, given the environmental situation, given the economic situation, and given how the world is moving towards renewable energy and a better ecosystem and a better environment where we live. I'll just touch up on a couple of things. A lot of things has been told, but I'll touch up a couple of things with respect to solar energy and why rooftop solar energy. What is this? What is unique? The potential is immense. Potential is immense, but particularly rooftop solar energy. And actually, in US, I'll give some context to the US and compare to India. In US, that's called National Renewable Energy Laboratory. And it analyzed in 2018 that 8 billion square feet of rooftop on which solar panels could be installed in USA, and it represents about 1 terawatt potential solar capacity. It's not that all rooftop could be installed with a solar panel, but whatever would be done, it has a potential of 1 terawatt capacity. And if you look into an average in US, 3.3 million homes per year are built or rooftop is replaced, and it tended to about 30 gigabit of solar capacity per year. So far as India is concerned, the rooftop solar energy generation is about 124 gigawatt, which is almost about 1/3 of the generation capacity today, which I believe is about 330 gigawatt. So why solar energy on the rooftop solar energy? Solar energy, we all understand how value, what benefit it brings, but why the rooftop solar energy? In commercial, if you want to use like utility grade solar energy, you need about 5 to 10 acres, depending upon technology, you need about 5 to 10 acres of land to generate 4 megawatt electricity. It's a very it's a lot of space is needed. And this is the rooftop solar energy, given that advantage, space advantage, where you don't have to buy space to generate electricity. And you can use the rooftop and significant cost advantage, and it carry about 17 to 27%. So the rooftop solar energy generation and the huge cost is 17 to 27% cheaper than typically what you do in commercial grade. So what is the issue? Why the solar sails are not shining in India, given the sunny Indian state? One of the major issue, what it is, unless we have a solid way to generation of the solar energy put into the grid, typically people are expecting that solar energy is used, consumed when it is generated during daytime. But if you look at typical house, in the daytime, typically the energy consumption is not very high. People go to office, people go to work, and when the people come back to home in the evening, they need more energy. And the energy consumption is more higher in the night where you don't generate energy. So the issue is how to save energy, how to connect to grids, so that when you are not using the excess power go to the grid and it credited towards you for the energy that we are, each of the house can become a kind of a energy generation source, and how that could be used in the grid so that it could be distributed depending upon different places. So that is one of the major issue, why it has not been grown as supposed to be. But let's look into, these are the scope, and it's a tremendous potential, tremendous opportunity. But looks at the what is happening actually in solar cell in general. So there are multiple technology to put the solar power generation. One of the, and it's all based on photovoltaics technology. And one of the wide technology used today is crystalline silicon, right? And 85% of solar power generation based on the crystalline silicon or the panel made out of the crystalline silicon. And the advantage of it is like about 25 years longevity. It's very high longevity, and also it is second most abundant element on Earth crust after oxygen. So it is very cheap, and it is also like a high longevity, and commercially about 85% use crystalline silicon. But what is happening? Actually, the energy conversion efficiency is about 20%. So to increase the energy conservation, conversion efficiency, to reduce cost, a lot of research is happening in photovoltaic technology. Another technology is called cadmium telluride cellular technology. And in that technology, about 5% of the commercial deployment using that, but it has a very high absorption of solar power and also low cost of manufacturing. There's another technology improving with copper, iridium, indium, gallium, dioxide. So there are multiple technology, multiple research is going on how to improve the energy conversion efficiency, energy absorption, and cost of producing the solar energy. And if you look into what has happened historically, there are three types of photovoltaic progress and goal which has been used. One is the residential PV, what we're talking today, and another is a commercial PV, photovoltaic cell, and utility photovoltaic cell. And in 2010, the cost of a residential photovoltaic cell was per kilowatt hour about 50 cents. In 2020, it is about 12.8 cents. And in 2030, goal is to bring to 5 cents. The 5 cents per kilowatt hour, that is the target in 2030. But if you go to commercial PV, in 2010, it was 39 cents. It is brought back to 9 cents in 2020, expected to be 4 cents by 2030. But if you look at utility photovoltaic cell, it was 27 cents in 2010. It is becoming 4.6 cents in 2020, and 2030 goal is 2 cents. So the cost of this photovoltaic cell-based technology is going to drastically decrease over a period of time, both on efficiency point of view, cost of manufacturing point of view, and will be more prevalent use in renewable energy generation. So the question is, what are the tools? It's not that like you can just go and put a cell on any rooftop and everything. So typically, if you look in northern hemisphere, so you have to look at southern northern hemisphere where most of the residential is there. So you have to look into what is the specific tilt, specific angle, where the three major things like global horizon radiation, irradiance part with respect to global horizontal, direct normal, and diffuse horizontal indifference. So those kind of things to be there to make the maximum out of the solar energy, right? So how you can absorb maximum solar energy, what angle your solar panel to be installed, which direction it will be there, and what level it will be there, because there are multiple issues also in the while putting solar panel. We'll come to that. So this prove that a lot of technique tools used to understand those kind of things. One of the tool, you can Google one of the tool called PV Watts. That's a company which part of the renewable energy laboratory that actually guide overall the world where to put, how to put, where it will make more sense. So those kind of guidance is there. So there are a lot of technique has to be used, not only photovoltaic cell, you go and put it on the rooftop. There's a lot of aspect, technical and kind of a deployment aspect need to be very carefully taken care of. But also, it's not without a challenge. Solar energy, solar panel putting in a rooftop, there's a lot of challenges. I'll give you a couple of examples. For example, the installation, when you want to put that one, how to make sure the generation of power per square feet coverage is very high, right? That's one area. But also, if you look into the cyclone, the wind, the hailstorm also happen, and how to put in a rooftop so that it's not blown away in the cyclone, blown away in the wind. So with the existing rooftop, how to make sense so that you can put it in a proper way with a proper fastening, proper installation, so it does not get blown away in the wind and storm and heavy rain and hailstorm also another potential problem. So we have to look into those aspects. Another critical aspect is the cleaning. Once the dust becomes deposited into the solar panel, the efficiency of energy conversion decreases. So what are the way, how you want to make sure it's clean properly? A lot of technique, all things are coming. But in India, one of the good things is during it is not all the time because the rain does not happen all the time. But in the rainy season, if you make an angle of 50 degrees, it will clean automatically the dust deposit in the panel itself. But most likely, most of the homeowner in US, they spend about $150 per year to clean those panels because once the dust deposit is become difficult, the adjustment power become difficult. So right now, because solar energy coming, another area is how to do a lifetime management and recycling, right? This panel will be recycled. You cannot, because there was so much wastage. After 25 years, you'll see it will create so many panels there. How we recycle, how we reuse those things. That will be another area we have to focus. Those are the challenges we need to look into and how we can kind of improve on those kind of aspects or issue to effective use of solar energy. Let me give a couple of areas how we can make it more more affordable, more kind of pervasive. There are multiple ways we can do, and government and public sector, people like Indian Energy Congress, research institute can contribute in a lot different way. For example, the government can give a tax credit. For example, we can say let some people have the income tax on their salary. If people spend, let's say, 2 lakhs in installing solar power, maybe it will be given as a tax credit to the individual. So individual has the opportunity to get a credit with respect to the spend they have, so they can get like a financial benefit. Similarly, tax credit to manufacturer, like no GST tax or no tax, so that they can sell that in the most cost-effective way. Another way is incentive and subsidy. Percentage of the cost, if it can be given as an incentive as subsidy, that will help also solar panel kind of installation in a much better way. Most importantly, we have to improve on the research and on the reduced production to improve the energy efficiency of the current solar panel. A lot of educational institute experts like you will be take a mission to improve that energy efficiency, production cost, so it become affordable for common people to do that, and encourage the recycling process and more. So in IEC, Indian Energy Congress, what role we can play to enable those kind of things? This is just a suggestion. It's not like webinar. No, we have to go beyond the webinar, beyond the discussion, take some tangible action plan to move forward. My suggestion, maybe we can do some task group in Indian Energy Congress, look into specific area. For example, one task group could support interaction with university, research institute to improve the technology and energy efficiency, production cost in the solar panel. That will be more affordable. We have a lot of experts in this team and a lot of subject matter experts and the research mindset people who can help on doing this collaborative research. Another area what we can do, like maybe put a policy setup group who can provide policy guidance to the government, local government, or federal government, or central government, so that how it could be the tax credit point of view, the incentive point of view, what option they can take so that it become affordable for common people to put rooftop solar panels. So, and also enable companies, like share your expertise, share your thought, share your ideas, how you can start up companies and enable smart startup company in the solar cell. So these are the three task group we can maybe develop as part of OEC to really, IEC to really help solar energy. And thank you very much. That was briefly I want to cover, and I took a little bit more than what I had, but thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you this evening and also share my thought and ideas. Thank you again. Thank you very much.
Excellent, excellent, Dr. Mohapatra. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your thoughts with all of us today morning at your place. And we hope your support in future programs also. And on behalf of the organization, I extend special thanks and appreciation to you for your joining and also presenting on the theme topic very elaborately. Now, it is my privilege to invite our first speaker of the webinar, Engineer Ramesh Chandra Sahu. And before I invite him to address, I will make some brief introduction about him in Odia language, because he has insisted to speak in Odia only. Engineer Srijukta Ramesh Chandra Sahuଙ୍କର ଜନ୍ମ 1942 ମସିହା କାର୍ତ୍ତିକ ମାସରେ କେନ୍ଦ୍ରାପଡ଼ା ଜିଲ୍ଲା ଚିତ୍ରକୋଳା ନଦୀ ତୀର କଳାବୁଦା ଗ୍ରାମରେ 1965 ମସିହାରେ ପ୍ରଥମ ବ୍ୟାଚ୍ ରିଜନାଲ ଇଞ୍ଜିନିୟରିଂ କଲେଜ ରାଉରକେଲାର ପ୍ରଥମ ବ୍ୟାଚ୍ ଉତ୍ତୀର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଛାତ୍ର, ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଯାହାକୁ ଆମେ NIT ରାଉରକେଲା ବୋଲି କହୁଛୁ, ସେ ବିଦ୍ୟୁତ ଇଞ୍ଜିନିୟରିଂ ବିଭାଗରେ ସ୍ନାତକ ଡିଗ୍ରୀ ହାସଲ କରିଥିଲେ। କିୟତ କାଳ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେ ସେହି କଲେଜରେ ଅଧ୍ୟାପନା କରିଥିଲେ। ତାଙ୍କର ଜଣେ କ୍ଲାସମେଟ୍ ଶ୍ରୀ ନଳିନ ରଞ୍ଜନ ମହାନ୍ତି ହାଲରେ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଥିଲେ, ସେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଅଧ୍ୟାପକ ଥିଲେ ସେହି କଲେଜରେ କିଛି ମାସ ପାଇଁ। ସେତେବେଳେ ପ୍ରଫେସର ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ବେହେରା ସେ ସମୟରେ ଅଧ୍ୟକ୍ଷ ଥିଲେ କଲେଜର। ଶ୍ରୀଯୁକ୍ତ ସାହୁ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆନ୍ ଇଞ୍ଜିନିୟରିଂ ସର୍ଭିସ ଭାରତୀୟ ଇଞ୍ଜିନିୟରିଂ ସେବା ପରୀକ୍ଷାରେ ସଫଳତା ପାଇ 1968 ମସିହାରେ ଭାରତ ସରକାରଙ୍କ ଅଧୀନରେ ଯୋଗଦାନ କଲେ। 1979 ମସିହାରେ କଲିକତାରେ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରୁଥିବା ସମୟରେ ସ୍ୱାଧୀନ ଚିନ୍ତାଧାରାରେ ଉଦ୍ବୁଦ୍ଧ ହୋଇ ସେ ଚାକିରି ପରିତ୍ୟାଗ କଲେ ଓ ଭାବିଲେ ନିଜେ କିଛି ସ୍ୱାଧୀନ ଭାବରେ କିଛି କାମ କରିବା ପାଇଁ। ତେଣୁ 1981 ମସିହାରେ ସେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ ଏକ କ୍ଷୁଦ୍ର ଶିଳ୍ପ ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠା କଲେ 2004 ମସିହା ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ। ଏହି ସମୟରେ ସେ ଶକ୍ତି ପରିଚାଳନା ଓ ଅକ୍ଷୟ ଶକ୍ତି ଉପରେ ତାଲିମ ନେଲେ ଏବଂ ଅଭିଜ୍ଞତା ମଧ୍ୟ ହାସଲ କଲେ। ସମୟ ଉପଯୋଗ ପାଇଁ ଅକ୍ଷୟ ଶକ୍ତି विशेषकर सौर शक्ति उपरे मनोनिवेश करी से लेखालेखी निर्विघ्न रहिले एवं से विभिन्न सामाजिक संस्था सहित सक्रिय भाव में जड़ित 2002 मसीह से पेट्रोलियम संरक्षण और गवेषणा संस्था रो गेस्ट फैकल्टी बा बहिर अध्यापक ओडिशा विज्ञान एकाडेमी जड़े आजीवन सभ्य विज्ञान दिगंत और साइंस हराइजन जड़े नियमित स्तंभकार अन्य पत्र पत्रिका से लेखालेखी करती शहीद नगर वरिष्ठ नागरिक संघर से प्रतिष्ठाता और साधारण संपादक चित्रोत्पला सेवा समिति कलाबुदार आजीवन सभापति इंडियन एनर्जी कांग्रेस से आजीवन सभ्य से मध्य 3टी इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज रे अध्यापना करछंती वर्तमान से विज्ञान भित्तिक लेखालेखी रे व्यस्त रहउछंती और परिवेश सुरक्षा उपरे मध्य काम करछंती आ विशेष करी सोलार रूफटॉप एनर्जी सहित से छात उपरे चाष करिवारे मध्य जड़े सफल व्यक्तित्व वर्तमान आमे तांको इनवाइट करबा एही वेबिनार रे से तांकर वक्तव्य प्रदान करिवे तांकर विषय वस्तु होची रूफटॉप सोलार प्लांट्स स्कोप पॉसिबिलिटीज एंड प्रॉब्लम्स मु श्रीयुक्त साहू को वर्तमान अनुरोध करुछि से तांकर वक्तव्य आरंभ करिवे।
धन्यवाद प्रभात बाबू। जय जगन्नाथ। सूर्य उपासना जबा कुसुम संकाश काश्यपयं महाद्युतिं तमोदी सर्व पापघ्न प्रणतस्मै दिवाकरः। उद्युक्ता बंधुगण और भाग नेउथिबा श्रोता बंधु आपण समस्त को मोर सश्रद्धा नमस्कार। मोर गोटे सूचना मो मतामत मु ओडिया रे ही कहबी। 1980 मसीह शक्ति संरक्षण और अक्षय शक्ति सृष्टि उपरे मु उद्यम करी आछि। से विषय रे विभिन्न सूत्र किछि सूचना संग्रह करिछि। सेति मध्यरु आजिर विषय संपर्कित किछि सूचना आपण मानक सह बांटी। आजि पई मोर विषय हला रूफटॉप सोलार एनर्जी प्लांट्स पॉसिबिलिटीज एंड प्रॉब्लम्स। ओडिया रे घर छतरु सौर शक्ति संभावना और समस्या। मोर वक्तव्य केवल घर उपभोक्ता को नहीं निज घर छतरु निज व्यवहार पर विद्युत उत्पादन करी हेबो एकथा प्राय आमे समस्ते जानिछि किंतु केही करिना। ए विषय रे हमकु अधिक सचेतन करिया पई भारत सरकार 2009 मसीह जवाहरलाल नेहरू नेशनल सोलार मिशन बा JNNSM आरंभ करछथि। यह 2022 मसीहा डिसेंबर पर्यंत चालू रही। आमे वर्तमान यार द्वितीय चरण रे ए फेज 2 2019 मसीहा आरंभ होइछि। 28/8/2019 रे ऑन ग्रिड रूफटॉप सोलार पई सरकार 12 पृष्ठा व्यापी एक नियमावली जारी करछथि जहाँकि वर्तमान पई बहुत उदार भाव विवेचना करा जाउछि। तापरे 21 जुलाई 2020 रे सरकार बेंचमार्क नहीं अन्य एक नियमावली जारी करछथि। एक पृष्ठार 2टी नियमावली वेबसाइट रे उपलब्ध जेउठु मु नै आछि वर्तमान मो पाखरे अछि जहा उपरे निर्भर करी मु आजिर वक्तव्य आपन दउछि। आपण चाहिले भी नहीं परिवे बा मते कहिले मु तार किछि डिटेल्स आपन को पठे दी परिबो व्हाट्सएप रे। यार विस्तृत आलोचना पई आज पाके समय नाही कहले मते 15 मिनिट समय दिया अछि। तापर सरकार नियमावली आउ जने वक्ता कहिबे मो परे सेति पई मु केवल सही नियम सबरो सारांश कहिबे जहा घर उपभोक्तांक पई आवश्यक। एक सेंट्रल फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस बा सरकारी साहाय्य जहा को हमें रिहाती करछु। एही फेज 2 पई यह 30% रु 40% को वृद्धि करा जाइछि। संक्षेप 3 किलोवाट पर्यंत 40% और 3 किलोवाट रु 10 किलोवाट पर्यंत 20%। बेंचमार्क कॉस्ट गुड़िक बहुत कम करा जायछि। से सब है साधारण राज्य मानक पई 1 किलोवाट पर्यंत वाट पिछा 47 टंका, 2 किलोवाट रु 3 किलोवाट पर्यंत वाट पिछा 43 टंका, 2 किलोवाट रु 3 किलोवाट पर्यंत वाट पिछा 42 टंका और 3 किलोवाट रु 10 किलोवाट पर्यंत वाट पिछा 41 टंका। 3 उपभोक्ता समस्त साहाय्य सहयोग केवल गोटे पॉइंट पाई परिवे, ताहला से अंचल विद्युत वितरण कंपनी बा डिस्कम। एटा बोधे बहुत लोग जानि नांती, मु आउ थरे पढ़ दउची। उपभोक्ता को समस्त उपभोक्ता माने जो मान चाहूचती सोलार एनर्जी लगेया पे घर ऊपर, उपभोक्ता को समस्त साहाय्य सहयोग केवल गोटे पॉइंट मिलिबो, ताहला से अंचल विद्युत वितरण कंपनी बा डिस्कम। डिस्कम माने विक्रेता ठारू बीड नहीं तार समीक्षा करी किछि लोकों को बाछिबे, वैषयिक समस्त विवरणी रेट मध्य से डिस्कम मान ही ठीक करिवे। विक्रेता कंपनी मान को नाम और रेट निजर वेबसाइट रे उपभोक्ता मान गोटे राखते देबे। सेथिरु उपभोक्ता माने जेरा मनमत विक्रेता ऑर्डर देबे कार्य आरंभ पाई। कार्य चालुथिया समय रे डिस्कम प्रकल्प अध्ययन करथिबे और उपभोक्ता को सूचना देउथिबे। कार्य सरिले अर्थात सौर विद्युत उत्पादन हेले उपभोक्ता विक्रेता को रिहाती काटी मूल्य देबे। रिहाती अर्थ डिस्कम भारत सरकार ठो आनी परे विक्रेता को देबे। एटा कंफ्यूजिंग लोक मानक मध्य अछि। सब्सिडी ता गवर्नमेंट थ्रू रे आसिकरी डिस्कम थ्रू रे सप्लायर को जीवो, ता धेरे कंज्यूमर किछि करियो नै। कंज्यूमर केवल ये काटिकरी सब्सिडी काटिकरी पेमेंट करिवो। प्रकल्पर 5 वर्ष पर्यंत परिचालन और मरामती दायित्व मध्य विक्रेता को डिस्कम मान देखिए। मोटामोटी प्रकल्प स्थापना उत्तरदायित्व डिस्कम मान ऊपर न्यस्त करा जायछि। सेमानकु केते पर्यंत प्रकल्प करि परिवे ताहा मध्य बंटन करा जायछि। एही बंटन तालिका मध्य एमएनआई वेबसाइट रे उपलब्ध। डिस्कम मानकु एही कार्य पई 3% देय व्यवस्था करा जायछि। जो डिस्कम जेते एक्सेस लगे परिवे समान 3% पाइबे खर्चर। केवल आरटीएस प्रकल्प पई सरकार एक एप्लिकेशन सृष्टि करछंती, यार नाम स्पिन पोर्टल। एथिरे उपभोक्ता माने ऑनलाइन रजिस्ट्रेशन ठारू आरंभ करी सब कार्य करि परिवे और घरे बसी समस्त कार्य ऊपर नजर रखि परिवे। एही 10टी पॉइंट उपभोक्ता पई फेज 2 आसीबा परे उदार कार्यक्रम एही सब को हिसाब को नै जहां समय और अर्थ विनियोग आवश्यक तापर समस्त घर उपभोक्ता विनियोग करि पाइबे। खोला छातर आवश्यकता प्रति किलोमीटर पाई 10 स्क्वायर मीटर, खोला छातर आवश्यकता प्रति किलोमीटर पाई प्रति किलोवाट पाई 10 वर्ग मीटर। एसो वर्तमान आरटीएस संभावना सचेतनता सृष्टि पाई मध्य 660 कोटी टंकार एक आर्थिक व्यवस्था करा जायछि। फेज 2 रे आग्रही गोष्ठी माने निजर प्रोग्राम एथिपाई डिस्कम जरिया रे एमएनआर को दे परिवे। ओडिशा रे के एभरी करचंती नाही, स्पेशली एनर्जी कांग्रेस इंडियन एनर्जी कांग्रेस एरो काढू केते जन एई पैसा रे 660 कोटी जो अछि अवेयरनेस फीज सेटा केते आइलाली कोठ। आगो को आमे ओडिशा ऊपर वर्तमान छला टोटल इंडियन सीट कहि सकछि, एबे ओडिशा ऊपर आलोचना करिवा। आगो को आमे ओडिशा ऊपर आलोचना करिवा। एसपीएन पोर्टल को जाई मु ओडिशा रे किछ तथ्य संग्रह करछि। एक ओडिशा रे वितरण कंपनी 4टी जहाँ को एबे टाटा पावर परिचालना करछि। सेगुडे कहला सेंट्रल, नॉर्थ, साउथ, वेस्ट जोन। या आमे समस्त जानिछे, किंतु आरटीएस पई टाटा पावर केवल सेंट्रल जोन कथा बुझुछि और अन्य 3टी जोन कोटडा बुझुछि। सेंट्रल जोन पई टाटा पावर को दिया जाय छै 1 मेगा मात्र 1 मेगावाट रो क्षमता। सेंट्रल जोन निजर आरटीएस सिस्टम विक्रेता तालिका घोषणा करछि। समान टेंडर फेंडर डाइटिग्री तादु करके फाइनल करके वेबसाइट रे देछन, स्पिन पोर्टल रे एटा नेछि। तादर समाने सिलेक्शन करछन्ती। एक आदित्य सोलार हैदराबाद, 2 कॉक्स पावर भुवनेश्वर, 3 गायत्री इंजीनियरिंग भुवनेश्वर। प्रत्येक को 260 किलोवाट क्षमता बंटन पर अनुमति दि जाए। 4 विद्याश्री इलेक्ट्रोनिक्स भुवनेश्वर, ग्रीनिटी इंटेलेक्ट भुवनेश्वर, ओम सोलार भुवनेश्वर, श्रीहरि पावर भुवनेश्वर। प्रत्येक को 50 किलोवाट कर समुदाय 200 किलोवाट क्षमता बंटन पर दि जाए। प्राइस है प्राइस डिस्कवर्ड inclusive of tax, capacity range, price per kilowatt in rupees 1 to 10 kilowatt 38,000 per kilowatt, 10 to 100 kilowatts 34,000 per kilowatt, 100 to 500 kilowatts 32,000 per kilowatt। यह है ओडिशा ପାଇଁ जुलाई मासर अवस्था। ओडिशा बांट पड़ी समुदाय 4 मेगावाट। भारतीय लक्ष्य अच्छी 2022 मसीहा सुधा 4000 मेगावाट बा 4 गीगावाट। ओडिशा बांटरे मात्र 4 मेगावाट माने 1%। संभावनार विचार आलोचना यही रखुची। बर्तमान जीवा समस्या पाख मत संभावना और समस्या तो तेणु मु संभावना कही सारी। बर्तमान जाऊँगी समस्या पाख। समस्या 1 कम आवंटन। ता पूर्व कही रखे आमर ओडिशा रे एपर्यंत डाटाबेस नाही केते कंज्यूमर को पाखे सोलार रूफटॉप लगी। एटा मु बहुत चेष्टा करछि। ओडा फोडा समस्त को आगुर अवश्य 10 वर्ष तले 8 वर्ष तले कांटेक्ट करथिली। ओडा एमती वेबसाइट करा जाऊ बा किछि ओडा लिस्ट कोटा पोर्टल ओडा हेका समान को रखन, किंतु एपर्यंत सेटा संभव है नहीं। सेटा करबा पे कि प्रथम दरकार सौर विद्युत प्रकल्प छात्र करथिया उपभोक्ता एक डाटाबेस तैयारी करिया खबो। एटा गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को देले से माने अलॉटमेंटटा बढ़ाइबे। हमर ए पर्यंत केते मात्रा प्रकल्प होई सारछि से विषय भारत सरकार नजर को आनिबा दरकार। ओडा ओ आईसी मिसी ए कार्य कले शीघ्र होई परिबो। छात्र सौर विद्युत लगाइबा अनुमति देवा पई डिस्कम टाटा पावर पाखे मात्र 1 किलोवाट अनुमति अच्छी, किंतु आमर सेंट्रल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन जोन रे समुदाय कंज्यूमर होउचंदी 26 लाख। आमे जदि खाली 10% लबा जे 10% लोक सोलार इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वर्तमान पाई इंटरेस्टेड हेबे ताहले कंज्यूमर संख्या है 2.6 लाख। 2.6 लाख को गोटे घर पिछा एवरेज 3 किलोवाट नेले आसुचे 780 मेगावाट। आमर रिक्वायरमेंट 780 मेगावाट 2022 सुधा सेंट्रल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन जोन केवल आमको अलॉटमेंट है 1 मेगावाट। समाधान पाई डिस्कम सब आलोचना करी रास्ता ठीक करिया आईसी बा एनर्जी कांग्रेस यह एक भल कार्य बोली भावी एटा को आरंभ करबा उचित। समस्या 2 अग्रगतिर अभाव। आमे आज एते लोक बसचे एति प्राय केते 68 जन पार्टिसिपेंट आज अछंती। आपण पाखरे मत टिके व्हाट्सएप नंबर बा ए एनर्जी कांग्रेस जो थे कहि पारे ए 68 जन भितर कहा था घर छात ऊपर अछि सोलार एनर्जी। मो छात पर नाही, मु गला वर्ष हैला चेष्टा करछि कर पाबो। कहा छात ऊपर अछि जानिले मु तांग साइते कोन मोर रे हॉबी कम ड्यूटी मु बाले को जाउछि। एटा मु रे सोलार एनर्जी पर काम निहाती करछि काना एटा एमिति सुविधा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आपण निज घरटू निज को मिलिबो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी। या बड़ कम कौन थाई पारे। आमे जेते बाहर पाठ पढ़ले कि जहा कले भी आठ भल काम बोधे किछ के कर परिबा। तेणु एटा उठके चेष्टा करंतु। आम नजर रे टीपीएल रो कार्यकलाप पोर्टल रे मिलिबो। अपन यदि स्पिन पोर्टल खोलिबे ताले ए मोबाइल रे हो वा लैपटॉप रे हो जो थे खोलिबे आपण टाटा रो को लिस्ट सेमादि केते कोन करछन ता सब पाइबे। ताकू नहीं तेणु उपस्थित बंधु मान मध्यरु जो माने निज छात्र लगाइबा आग्रही यथाशीघ्र अंचल डिस्कम एसडीओ कमर्स बा टेक्निकल पाखरे पहुंची कथबार्ता करंतु बा ऑनलाइन रे आग्रह प्रकाश करंतु। कौन उत्तर पाइले निज निज भितर व्हाट्सएप आलोचना कले समस्या समाधान हो मु केते जानिछि ए सब विषय घंटा चक्ता करी तेणु मत जदि के किछि पचारे मु हो तो सॉल्यूशन कहि पारे समाधान किछि कहि पारे छात पर लगे बैंक समस्त लगेबा एटा आमे समस्त मिस्किर कले निज निज भितर ए कथा वार्ता करी डेटा हेइ पारिबो डिस्कम तर्जमा करी विक्रय एजेंट स्थिर कर सारछे तेणु डिस्कम थारु आग्रह टेक्निकल विषय कथा को टेक्निकल क्लारिफिकेशन तेणु डिस्कम थारु आग्रही उपभोक्ता फाइनल बीड रो एक कॉपी मागी आनी ताकू देखंतु निज पाखरे थिबा कोनोसी टेक्निकल लोक सह आलोचना करी निजर आवश्यकता पूर्ण हेउछि कि नाही देखंतु अधिक किछि आवश्यक हेले एसडीओ सह कथा वार्ता करंतु मु निज घर पई एई प्रकल्प गला 1 वर्ष चेष्टा करछि होई पर नाही कारण टिके तथे वैषयिक टेक्निकल असुविधा टिके सब थिला निकट भविष्य रे मु एसडीओ थारु बीड कॉपी पाइले तर्जमा करी सुविधा असुविधा व्हाट्सएप रे जणाई दे परिबे समस्त आग्रही गोचनार्थे मोर अभिज्ञता कहूछि निम्नलिखित विषय प्रति दृष्टि देवे सरकारी आदेश अनुसार विक्रेता 5 वर्ष पर्यंत मागणा मरामती और रक्षणाबेक्षण करेंगे साधारण ग्राहक एठी ठकी हो जाई पारନ୍ତି 2 प्रतिदिन केते उत्पादन हैला विक्रेता ताहा ग्रहिता को देखाइबे जदि से भली सुविधा न थाए विक्रेता को देबा को कहिबे राजी नहले एसडीओ को रिपोर्ट करिवे एही मीटर रीडिंग गुडी को 1 वर्ष पर्यंत टिपी रखिबे हाराहारी दैनिक 4 यूनिट उत्पादन हेबा कथा जदि हेउ न थाए प्रकल्प मान ठीक नाही एसडीओ को रिपोर्ट करिवे मु ए विषय रे ए मीटर रीडिंग ताथे आसीओ लिकरी आपनकर से इन्वर्टर रू मु लूम सोलार संगे प्राय वर्ष खंडे करेस्पोंडेंस करछि शेषकु समान राजी हेले नाही जे आमे रेकॉर्डिंग मीटर ता दबुता धेरे इन्वर्टर दे एटा सेठी अटकिछि किंतु एटा अछि आपनकर पॉलिसी रे अछि आर्थिक एटा गुटे बड़ समस्या छात्रु सौर प्रकल्प पई अलग आर्थिक व्यवस्था स्थिरीकृत होइछ अपन जो पैसा अप्रूव होइछ ताधर आर्थिकता अछि जेहेतु गोटे प्रकल्प जीवन काल 25 वर्ष नियम अनुसार आर्थिक आवश्यक एवं ओडिशा एक घड़घड़ी प्रबल राज्य सेति पई भलो आर्थिक दरकार सोलार पई 4 सोलार पैनल एक सौरीकरण संवेदनशील वस्तु यह सफा रहिले अधिक दक्षतार कार्य करे तेणु पैनल गुड़ी किछि दिन अंतर सफा हेबा आवश्यक किंतु शहीद नगर ए जो 4-5 प्रकल्प देखिछि तार पैनल सब लागिला परे प्राय सफा हेउ नाही उपभोक्ता सचेतन होंती किंतु एटी एक गुरुतर एवं साधारण ज्ञानर कथा पैनल ऊपर धूली पड़ी गले कम सूर्य किरण ग्रहण हेबो तेणु दक्षता कमिबो मु बीड देखला परे वैषयिक त्रुटि पर अधिक मतामत आपनको दे पारे वर्तमान समस्या समाधान संभव संभवता और समस्या सरीगला वर्तमान शेष कथा कहूँ आमे कौन करबा आज आलोचना पाई आज आलोचना सार कथा है घर छातरु सौर विद्युत एक ग्रहणीय चिंताधारा यहाँ कहीं डिस्प्यूट कर मत अन्य मत हबार नहीं किछि आग्रही बंधु मान ग्रुप चेष्टा यह वार्षिक 50 संख्यार बढ़ी पार खुशी एपर्यंत किसी एपर्यंत मासक 2टा ही बढ़ू घरे बसी प्रति मासरे अन्य सब सुविधा मासक किछि गोटे मिनट आशा कर सबु भाग नहीं भाई मैंने आग्रह प्रदर्शन करेंगे और निज घरे लगे चेष्टा करेंगे भारतीय एनर्जी कांग्रेस साधु उद्यम भाई बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ठीक समय से ठीक पदक्षेप उठाई कारण एबे ही ओडिशा रे प्राथमिक कार्य सब हो सारी केवल उपभोक्ता आग्रह देखाइले रथ पथ प्रस्तुत अच्छा मोर उपस्थापन में कौन सन्देह व प्रश्न थिले समुदाय विषय टी आउ थे जानवा चाहूले मत मो व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9438011072 9438011072 रे जणाइबा को अनुरोध मु निश्चय उत्तर देवा को चेष्टा करी आपण माने धैर्य सह मोर सूचना प्रसारण सुनिथिबार बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आगामी दिन में कौन बंधुकर छात उपर प्रकल्प स्थापित होगा खबर मिले मोर श्रम सार्थक कल बोली भाविली। मोर आशा और भारतीय एनर्जी कांग्रेस उद्यता मान पाखे निवेदन चिंताधारा को सक्रिय रखिए, चिंताधारा को सक्रिय रखिए, सचेतनता सामाजिक और छापा संबाद संस्था सब साहाय्य नेबे। प्रति 3 मासरे थरे एपरी आलोचना जारी रखा मोर प्रस्ताव। जय हिंद।
आपणकर वक्तृता प्रदान रे आमे समस्ते अभिभूत। आपण बहुत सरल और सुंदर भाषा रे आपणकर अभिव्यक्ति प्रदान कले एवं या मु आशा करुछि जे बहुत लोगों पय एटा शिक्षणीय होई पारिछि। किंतु सार बर्तमान कहि दैछन्ति जे से सब बेले प्रस्तुत अछन्ति अन्यमान को ए दिगरे किछि टेक्निकल सपोर्ट दवा पय। तेणु आमर सभ्य तालिका भितर बा आउ के शुभेच्छु बंधु जो माने सोलार एनर्जी रूपटॉप इंस्टॉल करबा में चाहुचंती सारंकर परामर्श ग्रहण करंती। विशेष विशेष धन्यवाद प्रदान करूछि मो अनुष्ठान तरफ महाशय को। वर्तमान मु द्वितीय आमर वक्ता श्रीयुक्त अशोक चौधरी तांको मु अनुरोध करिवि, किंतु ता पूर्व संक्षेप रे तांकर इंट्रोडक्शन मु देवी। इंजीनियर अशोक चौधरी presently continuing as joint director technical in Odisha Renewable Energy Development Agency. This is an organization under the Department of Science and Technology, Government of Odisha, and this was established in the year 1984. Engineer Chaudhary is associated with the development of new and renewable energy sources of energy for accelerated utilization of renewable energy sources wherever they are technically and economically viable. He is also involved with the promotion of research, development and popularization of non-conventional and renewable sources of energy. There are various schemes under ORIDA continuing. Some of them are construction of biogas plant for family as well as for community, use of solar photovoltaic system, biodiesel scheme, remote village electrification scheme, etc., in which he is the senior most technical person in the organization associated with these activities. He has presented a number of technical papers relating to solar power generation and utilization in many organizations, technical institutes, as an invited speaker. Now, I invite Engineer Ashok Chaudhary to present his address on the topic Government Initiatives for Promotion of Solar Energy Generation and Utilization. Engineer Chaudhary, please.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much, Mr. Padi, and for your kind introduction about me. But only one small correction in that is that ORIDA has already migrated to Energy Department.
Energy Department, yes,
Yeah,
correct.
it's not continuing anymore under the Science and Technology Department. So, and thanks a lot for Indian Energy Congress to have me here and for inviting me here to deliver a speech. So without much ado, I will try to share my screen. Is my screen visible to everyone? My screen is visible? No?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. I'm just trying it again. Is it visible now?
No.
No?
No.
So just a moment.
Sir, not visible, sir.
Yeah, just one moment.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Yes, it is coming. Yes, it's coming.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir. Clearly visible, sir.
So it is visible now?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. So the topic that is being given to me is government initiative for promotion of solar energy generation and utilization. Of course, initially I thought that I'll be talking about the rooftops, but this particular topic is a little different from that. But what I found that on the rooftops we have already heard a lot. So I will go with the government initiatives for solar energy generation and utilization in India. So for any kind of initiative, there has to be a strong intention first. So let us try to understand what is the intention of government for this particular initiative. So the intention is basically decarbonizing the economy. So the issue comes, why we want to decarbonize the economy? So here we must understand that the current economic development model is entirely dependent on fossil fuels. And we all know that fossil fuels are gradually dwindling, their resources are coming down, and their availability is gradually becoming scarce. The cost is also increasing. And there are other things which are associated with overconsumption of fossil fuels, like greenhouse gas emission and the resulting things which we have already experienced, that is basically global warming, climate change, depletion of ozone layer, unprecedented rains, floods, cyclones, heat waves. All these we have already experienced and we are still experiencing. And this is all due to overuse of fossil fuels. Hence, the decarbonization of the development process is definitely required. And this decarbonization can be possible if and only if we increase the share of renewable energy in our entire energy mix. So with this intention, now let us look at the commitments of government. So what are the various commitments of government to fulfill this intention? So here are certain commitments of the government. So as an intended nationally determined commitment in the Paris Agreement, Government of India is committed to 40% of total electricity generation from non-fossil sources by 2030. And similarly, if we look at the Central Electricity Authority's strategy, we see that 57% of total electricity capacity to come from renewable energy by 2027. Here one question comes, they're 40% by 2030 and 57% by 2027. So the difference is that there it has been written that it is non-fossil sources, which also includes nuclear energy and maybe hydro energy also, whereas this is only renewables. 2027, we want to have 57% from renewables only. And similarly, MNRE has got a target of 175 gigawatt from renewable sources alone by 2022. So these are the various commitments and the targets of Government of India. So now we want to fulfill these commitments. So when we are thinking of fulfill these commitments, we should also think whether we are having the resources for this. So if we look at the renewable energy resources of the country, the scenario is something like this. So the total renewable energy resources that we have is about 1000 gigawatts. Out of that, 748.99 gigawatt is solar energy, which is about 68.33%. Obviously, solar energy is going to take the lead role in decarbonizing Indian economy. And obviously, all the actions will also be around solar energy only. We have other renewable energies like wind, small hydros, biomass, cogen, and waste to energy. But if we look at all these energy sources, solar is the highest, and solar is at present is also the most economic, cheapest source of energy. So that is why if we look at economic terms, definitely solar is standing ahead, and it will continue to remain like that for a long time. So now all actions, whatever Government of India is taking or whatever Government of Odisha is taking, we are taking all these actions around solar energy only. So if we look at the actions, now Government of India has developed several schemes, programs, projects for implementation in the solar energy segment, and means to fulfill that objective of 175 gigawatt. Of course, there's a clarification here. Out of 175 gigawatt, Government of India is actually aiming at 100 gigawatt from solar and 75 gigawatt from other sources, from other renewables. So whether it is 100 or 175, still the total action has to come from solar only. So what are the various schemes of Government of India? Of course, Government of India is having a lot of different kinds of schemes, but here I am concentrating or I am focusing or I am highlighting only certain schemes which I considered as really important, and I'll be speaking about these schemes one by one. Means what are the scheme, what are the targets under this scheme, and what are the enablers for implementing these schemes, and what actions are being taken by Government of India vis-a-vis the actions taken by Government of Odisha in these schemes. So the first scheme that Government of India has coined is the development of solar parks and ultra mega solar power projects. Under this, the target is 40,000 megawatt. And there is a central financial assistance up to rupees 25 lakhs per solar park for development of the DPR, and rupees 20 lakhs per megawatt or 30% of the cost for development of projects. So this is what Government of India has already enabled. But under this scheme, Odisha has not done anything so far. Although some actions were there, but we could not locate really land for large solar parks over here or even ultra mega solar projects. Because in Odisha, you see the land is very scarce and most of the land is coming under forest category. So it is very difficult to get land. And though JEDCOL, one of another organization under the Energy Department had taken some initiative to identify land, I think they have somehow gathered some land for about 200 megawatt. Apart from that, this land issue is a real issue in Odisha, for which we have not been able to develop solar parks over here. So the second scheme is grid connected solar power projects under National Solar Mission Phase 2. In this, there is a target of 5,000 megawatt, and the enabler is viability gap fund up to rupees 1 crore per megawatt. So that is the enabler over here. So under this scheme, a few projects have already come up in Odisha, and now Orida is implementing a 10 megawatt solar power plant under this scheme for solarization of Konark. So in order to completely render Konark town a zero emission town, something about 10 megawatt of electricity is required. So that 10 megawatt solar power plant is being installed under this VGF scheme by Orida. Of course, this project we are not installing in Konark, we are installing it in Kalahandi, because you know Konark as such is not very feasible for solar energy, because the solar insolation is low, there's no direct radiation, a lot of diffusion is there. Then it's a cyclone prone area, and so many other aspects are there, and land is also very scarce there. So that is why instead of installing this project in Konark, we are installing it in Kalahandi, and the energy supplied to the grid in Kalahandi will be accounted for against the entire consumption of Konark town. So under this, we are now implementing a 10 megawatt solar power project. In this, already the developers have come forward. We are now evaluating their technical offers, and after the technical offers are evaluated, we will be going for evaluating their financial offers, and there we will be seeing whether this viability gap amount is required or not, because the offer is 1 crore per megawatt, but the bidding is also done on this 1 crore per megawatt only. Someone may ask 1 crore, someone may ask 80 lakhs, someone may ask 50 lakhs. So whoever will ask for the least viability gap funding, this project will be allotted to them. So this bidding means it is yet to happen. After we finalize evaluating the technical offer, we'll come to that. Then there is a CPSU scheme under which there is a target of 12,000 megawatt. So under this also the same viability gap is allotted, but here the amount is little less. This is 70 lakh per megawatt. So this is basically meant for the undertakings like say NTPC, railways, NHPC. So all these organizations for their own consumption or even for selling to others, they can install 12,000 megawatts with a viability gap fund from Government of India up to 70 lakh per megawatt. So in this scheme, a large number of CPSUs are very, very active, and they are already installing solar power plants for their own consumption. And the fourth one, and the very interesting scheme, is grid connected solar rooftop. Under this, there is a target of 40,000 megawatt. This is a huge target. Almost so this is a huge target which is going to be implemented across the country. It is already being implemented. The phase 1 is already over. Now the phase 2 is continuing. So under this, there is a target of 40,000 megawatt, and there is central financial assistance also, about which Dr. Sahu has already told. There is a central financial assistance of 40% of the discovered price for capacities up to 3 kilowatt, and above 3 kilowatt up to 10 kilowatt, the central financial assistance is 20%. And there is another 20% central financial assistance for group housing schemes or resident welfare associations for capacities up to 500 kilowatt. But the limitation is 10 kilowatt per house, and the total is up to 500 kilowatt. I think this requires a small explanation. So in group housing scheme or the residential houses, wherever means resident welfare associations are there, if they want to have a solar power plant, supposing there are 15 houses in a particular RWA, then they can go maximum up to 150 kilowatt only, though the limit is 500 kilowatt. And if there are 50 houses, then they can go up to 500 kilowatt. And if they have got 100 houses also, they can go only up to 500 kilowatt. Above it is not allowed so far. It has not been allowed under the scheme of Government of India. So in this, already in phase 1, 8 megawatts have been installed in the state. 4 megawatts by Oreda and another 4 megawatts by JEDCON. So 8 megawatts have already been installed in the state, and we are having the complete data of these 8 megawatts, whatever has been already commissioned. And in the second phase, this project has been allotted to the DISCOMs. Of course, since Oreda was already implementing this scheme, Oreda did empanelment of vendors. Oreda discovered the prices, and Oreda has also given entire IT support to all the 4 DISCOMs. And now all the 4 DISCOMs, means out of the 4 DISCOMs, TPCODL is having their own IT infra, whereas the other 3 DISCOMs are depending on the IT infra of Oreda. So this will continue for some times. After that, the DISCOMs will be totally independent. So this is just a hand-holding thing which Oreda is now doing. So in the second phase, there is a target of only 4 megawatt. Each DISCOM is having 1 megawatt. But this 4 megawatt or 1 megawatt per DISCOM is never a limiting thing. Whatever we need, we can definitely get from Government of India. But only thing is that the implementation has to be done, and the implementation has to be accelerated. So if we implement this project in a faster rate, if we achieve the allotted target, we can get also much more allotment from Government of India. So in this connection, there was a discussion that a lot of awareness campaigns have to be done, and customers' awareness is very much required. In this, Indian Energy Congress may play a very important role, and it has to play a very important role in this, because so means whether it is Oreda or the DISCOM, we are basically executing agencies. And regarding the awareness, beneficiary awareness or customer awareness aspect, we do very little. So means accepting some newspaper ads, we don't do much. So that is something which has to be, which if Indian Energy Congress Odisha chapter can address, then that would be excellent. And on that, we can have a discussion also. And then the 5th thing is off-grid and decentralized application, phase 3. So this application has already come to the phase 3. So in this, the target is 3 lakh solar street lights, 25 lakh solar study lamp, and 100 megawatt of off-grid solar power plants. And there is central financial assistance of 30% for street light, 85% for the study lamps, and 30% for off-grid solar power plant. So this is a project which has been taken up very seriously in the state, and because Odisha means looking at the electrification condition in Odisha, the off-grid thing is actually picking up very well. So Oreda has already done around 15 megawatts of off-grids, and another 15 megawatt is there on the anvil. So every year we are implementing a large number of off-grid solar power plant, and sometimes these are also connected to the grid through the allotments of Government of Odisha. There is Energy Department's budget, and apart from that, there is a lot of deposit work also. So under this project, we are doing this off-grid rooftops on basically schools, residential schools, hostels, hospitals, so fire stations, so police stations, and in mines. So wherever it is required, this thing is being done. So and in this particular year, we are going to cover about 600 Anganwadis and a large number of schools. And in mining areas, about 6 megawatts will be installed. So like that, there is a lot of action, particularly in this off-grid and decentralized applications in Odisha. And the last one is Pradhan Mantri Kishan Suraksha Evam Utthan Abhiyan. PM Kusum. All must have heard about this name. This is a very kind of a catchy name. So under this, there are three components. The component A, there is a target of 10,000 megawatt. So under this component A, what actually is happening? Means there is a lot of land, unused agricultural land available across the country. But this land is very small. So this unused agricultural land, maybe fallow land or maybe some kind of a land where there is no agricultural activity, could be wasteland also. So in all these kinds of land, if the land is available within 5 kilometers radius of a 33 by 11 kV substation, then that particular land qualifies for installation of a solar power plant of capacity 500 kilowatt to maximum 2 megawatts. So under this, basically farmers are applying, but the farmers do not have a very economic, means their economic condition is not that good that they can invest for this plant, but they are offering their land, and we are also onboarding several developers who will implement this project in the farmer's land. The farmer will get basically a kind of a lease rent for his land. It's leased out to the developer, and the developer will install the solar power plant. He will do all the investment in that, and he will get the tariff. So in this scheme, there is a predetermined tariff. The predetermined tariff for Odisha is 3.08 per kilowatt hour. And then there is incentive for the discoms. So under this scheme, already some 350 substations have been identified. And we initially went ahead with a land aggregation drive. So, and that land aggregation drive is still continuing. But under that land aggregation drive, we have so far gathered something around 1,100 acres, which is means where we can install up to 250 megawatts. So that kind of a land is already available. The developer onboarding is happening right now. By end of this month, we'll be onboarding the developer. And then the activities that remains is engaging the developers with the farmers, making agreements with the farmers, with the discoms, with Gridco. So all those things will happen. And then another thing which we are doing simultaneously is also empaneling the financing institution for giving out loans for these projects which will be coming up. So that is a very big area which is right now happening in the state. So under this component, a lot of activities are already happening, and a lot of activities will still happen. Now, after this first round of land aggregation, we'll be going for a second round, for a third round. Odisha has already been given a target of 500 megawatt by Government of India, but internally Odisha has already decided to go with 1,000 megawatts under this scheme. So this is where we compensate for not having land for solar. Means for not having land for solar, means large solar parks. Since we are not having enough land for large solar parks, we are going for these smaller ones where we are targeting 1,000 megawatts. So this is about component A. Then there is a component B where 17.50 lakh solar irrigation systems are there. So these irrigation systems are supplied to the farmers at a subsidy of 30%. And there is a state subsidy also. So under this, we have not done much. We have so far installed about 1,100 pumps only, but another 5,000 pumps, but another 5,000 are going to be installed in this year. And this particular project is done in collaboration with Odisha Lift Irrigation Corporation and the Department of Agriculture. It is being done. So these two departments are supporting with their own subsidies, and there is also some subsidies from Government of Odisha. So overall, the farmer has to pay about 15,000 rupees for a 3 HP pump or for a 5 HP pump, and the rest money is going as a subsidy, which is around 90% of subsidy is there. But in spite of that kind of a subsidy also, this scheme is picking up, but the speed is not that much encouraging. So here also, I think Indian Energy Congress can play a very big role. So that is another thing. And there is a component C. The component C is solarization of grid connected pumps or agricultural feeders. So wherever there is an electrical pump is there which is already connected to the grid, there the farmer has an option to install a solar power plant of his own of double the capacity of his own pump. Supposing he is having a 5 HP pump, it requires a 5 kilowatt solar panel, but he can install up to 10 kilowatts, and he can export the excess power to grid and get a compensation for that at the same cost of 3.08 per unit. So that is the advantage over here. So any farmer can come forward for this. But in Odisha, again, this particular project is not picking up well because here many farmers are not having grid connected pumps. But if they were having grid connected pumps, then there is a clear advantage over here. And again, how this means financial transaction between the DISCOM and the farmer will happen. On that also there is no much clarity as of now. So that is something which is still lacking, and this scheme is in a phase of development. And there is another area under this same scheme, that is solarization of agricultural feeders. So the solarization of agricultural feeders, which is very similar to component A only. So this scheme is basically implemented by the DISCOMs right now. The DISCOMs have been asked to implement this scheme, and about 87 to 90 dedicated agricultural feeders have been separated in the state, and these feeders have already been identified. Around these feeders, whatever is the agricultural load on that particular feeder, to that extent, a solar power plant can be installed, and it can be connected to that feeder. So that is basically the scheme. And here also there is a tariff. The same 3.08 is the tariff even here. So here what we find that the tariffs are normally little higher than the normal agricultural, than the normal solar tariff. The normal solar tariff in the state right now is around 2 rupees 80 paise, whereas here we give a tariff of about 3.08. So that way there is a very big advantage over here. And then when you go to agricultural feeder, you also get a subsidy of 30%. That means the tariff will come down to about say 2 rupees. So there the advantage goes to the DISCOM, to GRIDCO, and the state as a whole. So in these all agricultural feeders, we can have it for a very small tariff because of the 30% subsidy is there. So this is what is happening. Means these are some of the important schemes of government of India, as well as being implemented by government of Odisha. Sorry.
Sir, please continue, sir. Please continue.
I'm hearing some sound. Anyone wants to ask something at this stage?
No, sir, that is some other noise.
Okay, then I'm continuing. So these are about 5-6 important schemes of government of India which are being implemented across the country, and the same schemes are also implemented in Odisha. So I told you about what is happening in government of India, and also how these schemes are being implemented in government of Odisha. And another very important aspect is that the renewable obligations. So this is basically a regulatory framework. In this regulatory framework, large number of solar power plants can come up in the state. Some have already come up, and the scheme is being implemented. Now we are into the third phase of this. In phase 1, there was some action. In phase 2, there was some action. And now in the phase 3, you can look at the total RPO. This is increasing. In phase 1, it was only about 5%, then it increased to 10%, now it is 18%. So here, every obligated entity means who is an obligated entity. An obligated entity is one who is consuming electricity from his own thermal-based power plant of 1 megawatt capacity or above. So anyone who is consuming is an obligated entity apart from the DISCOM. So all the 4 DISCOMs are obligated entities. Apart from the DISCOMs, there are a large number of industries. About 62 industries have been identified in the state who are also obligated entities. So all these obligated entities have to get some renewable energy, as it is written over here. The solar RPO is say is 8%, and they have a hydro obligation also, which is 0.35%. Then other non-solar RPO is about 6.1%. So the total non-solar RPO is about 6.5, and the total RPO is 14%. This is for the year 2022 and 23. So that way it is going on increasing up to 2024 and 25. The total RPO is going to be 18%. So every obligated entity has to get at least 18% of renewable power of their total consumption. So under this regulatory environment, the obligated entities are really active, and they are either having their own solar power plants, means installing their own solar power plants, or they can buy solar power plants from any third party, or if nothing is available, then they have to buy renewable energy certificates. So this is happening. Origin is the state designated agency for this, and the entire monitoring is being done by OREDA. So this is also another activity which is happening in the state. Then apart from this, the other activities which are happening are like this: electrification of unserved villages and households of the state. So OREDA has already done something around 400 villages and a few thousand unconnected households. So this is under an MOP scheme. You must have heard the name like DDG and Saubhagya. So under this scheme, this electrification activity is happening. Then solar powered drinking water supply systems. OREDA has already installed about 11,000 to 15,000 BWS, so drinking water thing. And this is a scheme basically by RWSS. Originally it was by RWSS. OREDA was implementing this, and now again RWSS is implementing this particular scheme. So this is also a very good scheme whereby a lot of solar application is happening in the state. So every pump is connected to about 1 kilowatt solar panel. So with that 1 kilowatt solar panel and a pump, the water is lifted, it is stored in a tank, and then there are dispensing system. So in this also a lot of activities are. Now another very important activity that is going to happen is the livelihood options, renewable energy livelihood options. Under this scheme, solar powered cold chambers and cold chains. In this particular year, we are going to have about 100 solar cold chambers across the state. Then solar powered food processing units are also coming up. Then solar powered rural facilitation centers. Then EVs and battery charging stations. So these are also some of the activities which is going to boost the economy through renewables or through solar energy. And above everything, we are also having skill development programs and the development of human resource. This is very, very important. This should be underlined, because whatever renewable energy interventions we are doing, whatever renewable energy activities we are doing, without skilled human resource, this is almost impossible to maintain all these things. So local skill development is very much essential. In this local skill development initiative also, I would say that Indian Energy Congress can definitely play a very important role in local skill development. So having having described about all these Government of India schemes, initiatives, Government of Odisha scheme and initiatives, and the way forward, how we are going ahead. So what we see that as a whole, government has adopted a multi-pronged approach to make the development process cleaner and greener and gradual transit to a carbon-free economy. So the intention, whatever was there, and the action, everything is falling in line. So with the intentions, commitments and actions all falling in line, and the kind of targets that have been set are also quite achievable. So with this, we are definitely looking forward to a carbon-free economy, and the decarbonization of the current economy is actually happening, and it will accelerate in future. So thank you. If anyone has got anything to ask, you can ask me right now.
शास्त्री कहूची सीवी शास्त्री कहूची
हाँ सर, नमस्कार, कौन सर?
नमस्कार नमस्कार आपण सबु कहले हम एनर्जी डिपार्टमेंट रे देयर वाज अ रेजोल्यूशन I think you have also attended that meeting where government has decided to implement this rooftop in all government buildings first जोटा के हमें आगे हाई कोर्ट मेडिकल करथिलु तापरे सेटा को भाउची our this organization can take up and we can also implement in a better way. And I would be our suggestion heitila all discoms to publish in the reverse of the bill regarding the services to be rendered by solar utilities to the domestic consumers. So ei data jodi ama implement kariba, I think we will be getting a very good feedback. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Implement kari habo. And another thing जोटा सार सेतोळे कहउतले जे जो माने लोक माने इन्फॉर्मेशन किछि पाई पारु नाहंती जे तांकर केते सोलर पावर एक्चुअली जनरेशन होउची रूफटॉप रे जेतोळे लगौचंती तो सेटा एक्चुअली कोन होउची कि डिस्कॉम माने तांकर जेतोळे मीटर रीडिंग ता नउचंती सो तांका मीटर ता केत्ती की रीड कला केवल सेटा को दउचंती किंतु केते पावर जनरेशन रे से जिंसटा सेतरे आसु नाही
माने इन आउट प्रॉपर्ली दे आर नॉट डूइंग इट.
Yes, that detail is not coming up, but means even then there is a solar meter always. जो solar meter रे की जे अछंती माने जा घरे solar power plant लागी छी सी जानि परिबे जे तांकर एक्चुअली केते solar power generate होला. So that they can definitely know. So that is there. But if the discoms could also give that detail, then that would be still a better information for the customer.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, Engineer Ashok Chaudhary, for your elaborate and excellent presentation on the government initiatives for the promotion of solar energy. And what I feel, Indian energy strong and collaboration with the energy department of government, sir, to how we can be mutually beneficial state of or possibility for. So the leadership of Dr. Mohapatra, so we may discuss with you and the opportunities. We would like to meet our principal secretary to discuss more in these aspects. Thank you, sir. Now I welcome our next speaker, Dr. Ramprasad Panda. I will introduce him first. Dr. Presently Panda, continuing as additional professor in electrical and electronics engineering department of Silicon Technology, Bhubaneswar. He obtained his BE degree in electrical engineering from Bangalore University, MTech from MNIT, Allahabad, and also later on PhD from Jaipur University. An academic experience he has 15 years of industrial experience. He has published many research papers in leading journals in the national level and also presented papers in more than 30 national and international conferences. He has authored few books and book chapters. He is a member of IEEE and also life member of IST, that is Indian Society for Technical Education. He also received the Best Teacher Award in 2017 under IST. His research interest areas are power factor improvement in AC/DC converters, new inverter topology in photovoltaic solar system, on-grid and off-grid rooftop PV solar power plants, sizing and design of on-grid and off-grid rooftop PV solar power plants. I invite Dr. Panda, and his topic of presentation is rooftop solar PV power, potential growth and issues related to connectivity and metering. I request all the delegates to listen patiently his address, and we expect to complete the program in coming 30 minutes more. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I think I am audible.
Yes, nicely audible.
Yeah, my
Yes,
screen,
yes,
my
yes.
screen is visible, right, sir? My screen is visible.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. In fact, good evening to all the dignitaries. In fact, when I saw the people who are part of this program, I'm really delighted, particularly when I listened from Ramesh Chandra Sahu sir. He spoke in Odia, and it was really a wonderful address. Because we all are teachers. Only thing is why I was interested to share my experience with all these great people who is part of this webinar. That I am involved in rooftop solar for so many years, and I know what exactly the challenges are we are facing. In fact, I never believed in a government supported subsidy scheme to run a technical project. See, if we will see, the best example is our LED lighting system. Long age, LED lighting was coming under a subsidy system. Government will pay 75% of the subsidy, and it will sell the product to the consumer. It was a never successful model. But how it got successful? When government made his taxing system, the manufacturing system, expedited technology, and finally the cost of LED lamp became so cheap. Now you will find even a village consumer is going to a shop and asking for a LED lamp. So can we have that type of approach to promote our rooftop solar? Because being a faculty at Silicon Institute of Technology, in fact, we have installed there 37 kilowatt 3 plants, 2 in my college and 1 is in school. The school is a grid connected one, and in one of my trustees' house, 2 trustees, I have installed around 5 kilowatt plant. And for last 6 years, I am finding the real challenges what a customer, ordinary consumer faces when he goes for a rooftop solar. Even my guru, Professor A.K. Tripathi, is in the meeting. In fact, he was a great motivator. Many times I requested him, because he's always excited to have a rooftop solar. But why people are hesitating? Because Ramesh Chandra Sahu sir has also spoken that he is being such an involved man in this area. He's a purely technical person, but still he could not install a rooftop solar plant in his house. Why? So can this organization address these problems? This will be my topic of discussion, because I thought of speaking many things, but since many people have spoken about rooftop solar, so I will be only sharing my experience that will give us an idea that rooftop solar plant, how it can be a reality. See, first of all, these things are already discussed. I will skip. That is what is the roadmap and general information about the rooftop solar. This is all little bit. So first of all, when I come to the real rooftop solar, you can see it's a very simple thing. that we convert solar energy to DC. Then there is a power conditioning unit, that is your inverter. Then the inverter is being connected to your DB, that is distribution box. And this distribution box will be connected to your load as well as to the supply system. But here, the challenge is not installation of a rooftop solar, because here nobody is doing. Even a layman, if he's trained for 1 week, he can install a solar plant. But what are the real challenges after the operation? Because in last 5 years, because my plant in Silicon, it was installed in 2015. Today we are 2021. The first one is a 30 kilowatt solar plant. I will show you the performance of that particular plant right now, so that you will have an idea what exactly the generation is all about. So that 30 kilowatt plant had 2 times major fault. Once the inverter was under warranty, so the company has replaced. And very recently, just 20 days before, you must have experienced, there was huge lightning around 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And my all 3 inverters got damaged. So luckily, the other 2 is under warranty, is a 10-year warranty. So that I got repaired free of cost. But the first inverter, which is the Delta Mac, when I contacted the person, they told that you send the inverter to Bangalore plant. They cannot come here to see. When I told, you should come and tell me what is my fault, then only I can think if it is a minor repair, I can do it, or I will send it. Then he told 18,000 visiting charges. If an engineer will visit your campus to see this inverter, my company will charge you 18,000. Better you send it at a cheaper price. You can send. So these are the bottlenecks. See, we speak a lot. There are government schemes are there, 40% subsidy, 80% subsidy. See, when we are discussing that consumer is not able to know how much energy my plant has produced today, now you can understand when there is a major fault on your inverter, how a customer will address this problem. So this is the reason why, because when I contacted many people for rooftop solar, because I am a great advertiser of this type of project, because I love renewable energy. But the problem is, everybody asks one question: if there is a fault, who will take care? As Chaudhary sir also well said, that unless until we have local skilled person, it is a big challenge for us. And particularly a state like Odisha, we have the cyclone, lightning, and all the environmental issues that natural disasters always follows every year. So under this circumstance, how can we give the confidence to a customer? I know if you see a solar plant today, it is financially, wonderfully, it will support you. In fact, I will always advise everybody should go with a 3 kilowatt plant. If a small house, and if you see today's pricing of electricity by the discounts, you will find it is much cheaper. So everybody will go for it. But my concern is that the technical support are we going to get? So this is the first issue, it must be addressed. The second most very important, where nobody discusses that when a customer is going for a grid connected rooftop solar, what the problem he faces, because I have seen it. In fact, I will not tell the name. He's a gentleman having a lot of industry, and he's having a house in somewhere Bhadrak in a rural area. Because I installed one 5.35 kilowatt plant in one of my trustee's house. So he was excited. He told, why don't you put one for me? So I put a 6.35 kilowatt plant in his rooftop. It is a village house. It is a grid connected 3-phase inverter. But unfortunately, till today, more than 6 months, it is not yet grid connected. When we contact people of the DISCOM, They are telling till today we have not done such type of connection. So we don't know the procedure. Then I told them, see, this is coming under OERC regulation, and I have given every document to them. Sir, this is the process you have to do. You have to first approve, you have to send to your JE, they will see the transformer capacity, whatever the laws are that I have explained to them. But still today, a person has spent around 4 lakh rupees, but his plant is not working. Why? Because it is grid connected, there is no storage. So these are the problem for a layman. In fact, if somebody is in Bhubaneswar, okay, still I believe me, sir, the way this particular grid connectivity issues are there, a layman cannot do it. And do you know what is the problem outcome of this? Then these vendors who are installing, they are charging 20,000 rupees for grid connectivity charges. Why somebody will pay? We all talking lot of things, but we never follow that how to implement it. So Indian Energy Congress can do a wonderful job if they can evolve a method by, after talking to government, talking to DISCOMs, there will be only one window, that's all. Nothing, the customer will not do anything. Simply he will apply it, and on a time bound basis, things will be done. So unless it is done, I will tell you the rooftop solar plan will be a dream only. It will be never a successful one. Yes, in government buildings, we may go for it because there is a government funding. There are people, they will work. But if you want to make the ordinary people to participate in this rooftop solar program, it will be a big challenge. It will be never happening. Because being a technical person from electrical background, being a technical institute, when I am not comfortable in installing a rooftop solar plant, how can you think a ordinary person, even though it is financial very much viable, that he will go for a solar plant? Please, sir. So this is one more area, that is the connectivity. The second issue is, in fact, I wanted to, because all this technical I want to skip, I will only talk some issues about the connectivity. See, presently the metering arrangement, if you see in Odisha, we are having a net meter arrangement. So net meter arrangement means, as some sir was talking, that in the bills, a customer must know what is my export, what is my import, because the net meter reads both export and import. That means if you are internally consuming, then no record will be there. But whatever you are exporting, there will be a record. So today in the bill, the export is not coming, only they are writing adjustment. But what this adjustment is? How much? And the adjustment is being written in the terms of money. But why you will write money? If I have consumed 300 units import and 100 units export, the net unit chargeable is 200 units. This is how the costing should have been done. It is not being done. And in fact, since last October till today, all the solar bills, I think many of the delegates must have some rooftop solar plants. They didn't get the right bill till January. Maybe, till last month, that is June. In July, we got the correct bill. In fact, for my college, it's not an issue. Why? Because most of the energy I am consuming in the daytime. So the export is almost nil. But when you talk about the domestic consumer, the export is being done in the daytime, the import is done in the nighttime. So all the exports are ignored in the bill, all the imports are being calculated, and always 3,000, 2,000, 5,000 bill is coming, where the customer has installed a 5 kilowatt plant. This is what happened. So this type of problems also will aid for not going for rooftop solar in large scale. And other than giving subsidy, I will be very happy if some arrangement, because the cost of solar plant by default is so low that you did not go for subsidy. Even today, with 2 lakh, you can have a 5.5 kilowatt solar plant with all cost included. So if you calculate, I can show you the exactly the analysis of my plant for 1 year, that how much it can earn. So the financially, the payback period will be not more than 5 years. So if somebody is investing 2 lakhs, his money will be getting back within next 6 years, 5 to 6 years. But only thing is, the harassment a customer is normally facing while going for a rooftop solar, that has to be very well addressed. Number one. And number two, the technical support in case of a fault, that also has to be taken care of. So if these two things can be done, then I hope the rooftop solar plant for the ordinary customer, then only we can meet the target of 40 gigawatt, what the government is planning for. But through all these government buildings, everything, it can be done, but I am very much fearing that maybe after the installation, 5 to 6 years, most of the plants will be not working. Then when we are saying that the lifespan of a solar plant is 20 years, it will be never 20 years. 5 to 6 years, these challenges will come. And believe me, sir, every day morning when I go to my office, I open my dashboard and see what is the generation of 3 plants, including my trustees plant. Today, Ahmad. If sometimes the generation is not taking place, immediately I have to address it. Somewhere there is a MCB issue, somewhere something is happening. So don't you think that when a rooftop solar plant is installed in somebody's premises, if he's not a technical person, there should be some SOP, standard operating procedure. That means you must train the person, that you cannot say, sir, I will take everything, because a vendor cannot round the day, round the year, he cannot observe. So some SOP has to be prepared. So Indian Energy Congress also can work on it. So whenever a solar plant is being installed on a rooftop of a private customer, there should be a standard operating procedure. That means how to operate your solar plant, how to observe whether it is working fine or not, everything. And interestingly, today, since everybody is having a smartphone and all the inverters now connected to the internet, so you did not worry. Somebody was asking that whether my plant has generated how much energy, whether it is working or not. You did not go to the plant. Simply on a mobile, you can see your generation status. So just because it is today time, I will only, so another metering arrangement, just I want to tell to all the delegates that there is another metering process, that is gross metering. See, gross metering means you are basically buying the power in a different rate and selling the power in a different rate. But I am fearing, because what I heard, Government of India coming up with one plan for the whole country. Till today, it was a state-specific regulation. That means it is different from Odisha, different for Delhi, different for Gujarat. But because of that, there are a lot of issues with regard to the regulation. That is connecting voltage, what will be the pricing. So to avoid that, now government is coming up with a new policy, because all the discoms are telling that when the solar is available at 2 rupees from a bulk producer, why should I purchase solar power 6 rupees per unit from a institute? Because if I talk about a Silicon Institute of Technology, our average cost is 7 rupees per unit. That means if I am generating some units in the net metering mode, all the energy I am generating is being sold at 7 rupees. So discoms are telling, why should I do that? Because these large consumers are always my revenue generators. If they will have their own solar plant, there will be a problem to my finance. So because of that, government is now maybe next 6 months, you will be seeing a complete different scenario. And there, the rooftop solar will be a big challenge. Why? Because no customer will sell at 3 rupees and buy at 7 rupees or 6 rupees. Yes, there is a fight in the discussion that they will be implementing the gross metering process only for the system beyond 10 kilowatt. So beyond 10 kilowatt means it will be always below 10 kilowatt is a domestic consumer. So I don't know whether the government is going with that or not, but till that time, if somebody is already done it, then they cannot change. So this is also one information that has to be propagated. So those who are interested for rooftop solar, they should do it immediately, because we never know, once the gross meter concept will come, then financially rooftop solar will be never a interesting and luring proposal. So these are the two type of gross metering and the net metering. So even though in Gujarat they are going for gross metering, but in Odisha we are lucky, till now we are under net metering. Even beyond 100 kilowatt rooftop solar also we are going with this. So next is I will simply go for my case study. So actually this plant was installed in 2015 February. It is a 3-phase 30 kilowatt grid connected inverter, and the panel was 36.8 kilowatt. Here just I can tell, because many people told about the inverter plant, but technically I will say one thing. There are two type of inverters are very popular now in India. One is a normal inverter, one is with optimizer. See, I will always suggest the inverter with optimizer is a better choice, because many times when we are going to a vendor, we talk about the price and we tell that we should go with the cheaper one. So always cheaper one is not the best. So now if anybody is interested for rooftop solar, they must go with the optimizer system. Optimizer system means every panel, 2 panels, there will be optimizer, right? So optimizer will be optimizing the solar energy available at that panel. Remember what is happening when there are 60 panels in your system and you are having 3 strings, 20, 20, 20. That means 20 panels are in series, 3 series lines are there, and they are in parallel. Now, what is happening if there is because you can never expect the same irradiation on each panel, right? So what is happening normally in the 20 panel string, there will be a unequal voltage between the strings. And so when there is an unequal voltage between the string, there will be a circulating current. And when the circulating current will be there, the panels will be unnecessarily getting heated up. And once the panels are heated up, you know very well, particularly crystalline panels, they are very sensitive to the temperature. So the generation reduces. But when you go with the optimizer, what they do, they adjust the voltage of each panel, because the VI curve of panel is different for different panels. And they will be adjust the exact voltage at which the panel can produce the maximum power. So that is why the optimizer technology is a wonderful technology. So many type I have seen lot of rooftop solar cell available in Bhubaneswar, but very few people has gone with the optimizer technology. So this is also one area where we have to educate people. So don't go with the only cost, also the type of inverter you are using. So, but this particular inverter, it was the first project we did. So it was not an optimizer. It was only Delta. Delta is a normal string inverter. So there, this is from February 2016 to January 2017. And you can see out of the 30 kilowatt plant, we have almost 5,000 units a month maximum Of course, in the month of June, because it was a rainy month, the generation was less. But if you see the month-wise generation and the summary, the whole year we had 44,735 kilowatt hour. And per day generation, each average, I'm talking about the annual average, even though in February, March, we had around 200 kilowatt hour a day. But if you yearly average you go for, it is 122.56 kilowatt hour, and generation per kilowatt panel is 3.33. And when you calculate the capacity utilization factor, that is plant capacity factor, it is 13.85%. In fact, 15% will be said to be a good generation. So 13.85, because at that time the panels were not properly cleaned. Now we are cleaning it in a regular basis. So definitely the generation is much better. In fact, in India, we have 17 to 18% in Rajasthan. And if you see today, the money saved as per existing tariff is 3,35,500. And remember, this 30 kilowatt plant today cost is around 12 to 13 lakhs. So how many years you will take to repay the money? So that means financially it is a wonderful proposal. My only fear on two areas, one is the technical support. Unless we assure a technical support at a cheaper price, because the guarantee period will be only for 5 years. But when you are talking about a 20-year plant, who will give you service for 15 years? And believe me, sir, these companies who are supplying these inverters, they are looting like anything. So there must be some type of arrangement where your support to the customer beyond the warranty period must be there. That is one. And second is the support from the discoms as far as the connectivity is issued. There should be a single window arrangement where we can have a customer will go and apply and everything will be done under one window only. Then only we will achieve the required target of getting 40 gigawatt across the country, and the ordinary customer can participate. Because when you speak about installing solar plants in hospitals, government buildings, is not a big achievement. Then you will see every customer, a ordinary customer, whether a single phase or three phase type customer, if he installs a solar plant in his rooftop, then only we will say that our efforts are fulfilled. So thank you very much. If any question is there, I will try to answer it.
Again, mu CV Shastri Kochi, I was a technical consultant to energy department. Upon the coil single window, Hyderabad re similar type of thing is being done.
Right,
single window, and discoms will take all opportunities, and within a fortnight they will install and they will see that everything is done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Actually, Odisha, we did that. Odisha, it should happen actually. Unless we do that, it will be very difficult. Because I have seen the harassment. I don't know, maybe after Tata Power took over, they will have some type of system to address this issue, but it is a big issue. Yes, I think Professor Tripathi can add some words.
Tripathi here. I mean, I was really listening to you very carefully, and all that we discussed among ourselves, you have reflected very well to the community. My feelings are similar. What I am thinking that the business model of this rooftop has not been thoroughly discussed. I think the same discom logic what we are applying to electricity distribution cannot hold for rooftop solar. There is a model which is in Bangladesh. I will just take 1 minute. A cooperative basis they are doing it, and I read a very good paper where a blockchain has been applied first time in Bangladesh. That's a developing state like Odisha and India, and the owner of the house only rents the roof. That means we ask the rooftop if there is a roof. The people we ask that we will pay you 1,500 rupees per month. Will you rent your roof? You don't have to go there. We will take care of. Similarly, 20, 30 houses in the same locality, the grid is connected. The DC output, DC grid is connected, and the connection is at one point to the DISCOM, and the whole business scenario doesn't involve the consumer. I think there is somebody who is like a DSO, distribution system operator, which controls 100 houses, collects all the power, injects it to the rooftop, and there is a business model which takes care of everything else. So people are very happy renting their roof. It always remains clean. If people attend it, and they get 1,500 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees, depending on the area. So this kind of transparency of and the business model must be discussed for distribution if we want to be successful. I have been listening to Oreda, excuse me, I think he talks very well, very convincingly. He tells what government initiatives have been done. I think too many initiatives also confuses the people. This subsidy issue, although it is very clear on the pen and paper, when you really go and ask for it, they said no, it is applicable to XYZ, not for UVW and that kind of thing. That means your case doesn't come under that kind. So many things. One of my foreign friends came and wanted to put a solar plant, 10 megawatt, and he had to run from pillar to post, didn't get any okay from anybody, went finally to Gujarat and installed it. And he was given a red carpet welcome, given land, and he installed. Now he is in USA, plant is running for him. So how can we bring that transparency and hand-holding? What I mean hand-holding is that you have to really take care of the consumer or his interest and do the rest for him. Thank you, Dr. Panda. You have explained very nicely that it is not the issue of who wants rooftop or who doesn't want. We all want it, but we are looking into the risk factor. For the common consumer who is not electrical engineer, the risk is today very high. So if Oreda can convince the government and government can convince maybe Tata company or anybody who is in a kind of operating in a mega scale and ready to invest, if somebody doesn't patronize the whole business model and convinces people that we are behind you, then the rooftop will be only on papers. It will not pick up in Odisha. That's not my feeling. Please don't think I am pessimistic, but it is a fact. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Konda and Professor Ashok Tripathi also for sharing your valuable work. Now I request Engineer Arun Mohanty to speak few lines and share his experience.
Very good evening, respected President and dignitaries on the dais and delegates, participants. I'm very happy to being an electrical engineer. I worked in various fields. In operation, my research, my work field. Coming to the solar plant, we have seen there is rooftop mounted, ground mounted, and another is industrial PVC roof shade mounted. So all these are having a wind speed resistance of 200 km per hour using non-invasive adhesive technology. And as Mr. Dr. Mohapatra told, there are rooftop solar energy we are having on grid and off grid also. Power generated from solar energy and fed to grid through net metering, that we call on grid, and off grid also power generated from solar energy and stored in battery for our own consumption. And we used to say, sell it as per our liking. Coming to an example, Odisha Legislative Assembly, our on-grid solar power plant, a 90 kilowatt, has been installed in February 2021. So average bill has come 5 lakhs per month usually. Then in 4 months it should have been 20 lakhs. But what happened? The bill came 11 lakhs. So it is a profit of 9 lakhs directly by using this rooftop solar energy. Now coming to our NIT. NIT having a solar power plant of 10-20 kilowatt peak, that is our renewable energy, we call it clean energy. It is installed by APRPL, that is Azure Power Rooftop Limited, and he has taken over for the total installation operation for 25 years. And it has been cut down electricity by 1/3. And this is a case where this rooftop mounting has been given at 13 buildings, our academic block, old mechanical engineering department, TIIR, ceramic department, lecture gallery, and this electricity bill is coming 62 lakhs annually, and that has been reduced. And the unit cost has been taken by this Azure power is rupees 3 rupees 62 paisa instead of 6 rupees as Wesco used to charge. So there are solar cells, 315 watt panel each. So you and inverter also there. All these things are there. So what I mean to say, this building has been what just now Dr. Ponda also told that in Odisha it is difficult. But we have seen that by giving a lease, total lease for 25 years, this maintenance and operation, and it is a fixed 3 rupees 62 unit cost, it is a great advantage for us. And in IEC, what happened, they are going to do another 1 megawatt plant with 3.5 acre land. That is, we are having a lot of alumni are there here in our conference seminar here. We know the Naga Pond on northeast corner of Naga Pond. It is having 7 acre of total idle land. So they are also planning. They are thinking instead of 1 megawatt, why we cannot go to 2 megawatt, and that is ground based. So this is a area to be thought about by our all solar energy giants to take over with in consideration with NIT Raurkela, that there in the planning there is a ground, it is all ground mounted, 7 acres land is available, and as Dr. Mohapatra told, these are all silicon oxide diodes. These are everlasting, and it has got no problem because solar energy means we think that it is depending upon the light. No, from solar energy we sense light and heat. Both are applicable for us. Both are useful, and NIT is in such an area. It is a very high ambient area where the temperature itself is enough for generating the solar energy instead of whatever light is contributing, more is light is definitely contributing, but you can heat is another addition there. So in my opinion, we should explore our knowledge for helping NIT as an alumni, and I am an executive body member also. I request all here, my Indian Energy Congress, to come out and help NIT in this regard. And that much I want to convey to this committee. That's all. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, sir, for your suggestions. And you can be the right person to be associated with the
Yes.
Indian Energy Congress and also NIT system.
Yes.
And we will try together to improve the situation. And if required, we may also take support of Government of Odisha. And our Tripathi sir is with us, and Dr. Ponda is with us, and let us have a core committee meeting sometimes and to discuss more
Yes.
about thing. I feel, and we can get major support from Professor Ashok Tripathi. I feel, and Dr. Devakar Swami is also there, a wonderful person whose support we may seek because he has also very good link and collaboration with the Government of
Yes.
Odisha.
Yes. Yes.
And it is a very wonderful program today organized. And before I formally ask my friend Engineer Shishir Kumar Sahu to extend vote of thanks, I request Engineer Sukant to speak very briefly 2-3 lines because he has been a very good supportive hand in organizing this program. Engineer Sukant from Dreams Engineering College. Sukant Kumar Sethi.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Please speak a few words because you have been a major support base in organizing this program. So I want that you should speak few lines.
Sir, thank you, sir. Good evening, one and all. Esteemed all the dignitaries. Today is a nice event organized by Indian Energy Congress under the esteemed guidance of President Dr. Engineer Prabhakar Swami and my respected teacher, Professor Dr. P.K. Padhi sir, and all esteemed colleagues. And today we learned so many things from this, and hopefully, as discussed by Ram Prasad Pandya sir, Ashok Tripathi sir, and Arun Mohanty sir, and also Ramesh Sahu sir elaborately explain about our director Pureda. So hopefully, as discussed by Padhi sir, then in the next future again we'll organize the session more and more and enrich our knowledge. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Engineer Sukant. Now I request our Secretary, Engineer Shishir Kumar Sahu, to extend vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone, to the one and all present here. Respected Chief Guest, Sri Dr. Sukant Kumar Mohapatra, founder member of NIST, Barampur, and also our chief patron of our IEC, Indian Energy Congress. Respected President Dr. Prabhakar Swami, respected General Secretary our Padhi sir, Professor P.K. Padhi sir, and all the distinguished speakers, Engineer Ramesh Chandra Sahu sir, the solar energy researcher, Engineer Ashok Chaudhary sir, Joint Director, Technical, Oreda, Dr. Ram Prasad Pandya, Associate Professor, Silicon Institute, Technology, Bhubaneswar, Engineer Arun Mohanty, Senior Member IEC and former General Manager, Rourkela Steel Plant, sir. On behalf of IEC, Indian Energy Congress, I extend a warm welcome to the gathering. I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. I extend my gratitude to our chief guest, Mr. Dr. Sukant Kumar Mohapatra, to take out time from his busy schedule to grace the event. Thank you for inspiring and encouraging us with your words. A special thanks to Dr. Prabhakar Swami for providing immense support to make the webinar successful. I extend my gratitude to Professor Padhi sir, General Secretary, Indian Energy Congress, to organize a webinar event even amidst the pandemic. Finally, I would like to express vote of thanks to all the participants for their active participation. Thank you everyone once again for making it a great success. Thank you all.
Thank you very much all.
Thank you.
Program is over now.
Yeah.
Thank you.